Philippine government aimed to restore Subic Bay Airfield to be used specifically for maritime operations. As part of Manila's defensive posture against China's aggressive actions in its sovereign waters in West Philippine Sea. A new forward operating base that can support reconnaissance and attack aircraft will be established at Subic Bay International Airport, according to Philippine Air Force bidding documents and development plans. The new Philippine Air Force forward operating base is set to host the services for maritime patrol assets, fighter jets, missile storage, and a large hangar that can support the service on upcoming surveillance aircraft. The Philippines is looking to create a new base on the site of a former American naval air station at Subic Bay to increase its aerial surveillance and power projection capabilities in the South China Sea. While plans to fully develop the former American naval base were announced almost a decade ago, it was only this year that the service invited companies to bid for the project.
मिस्ट्री गिफ्ट मिलेंगे पर उनको जो हमारे सवालों का सही जवाब देंगे. What does UPI stand for?
मुझे भी बता दो.
Amidst the tensions generated by China's development of artificial islands in the South China Sea, the Armed Forces of the Philippines AFP plan to rehabilitate the air and naval facilities in Subic Bay Freeport, in the central part of the mainland island of Luzon. The Subic Bay, a deep-water harbor located 50 miles northwest of Manila facing the South China Sea, was the service and logistics center for the U.S. 7th Fleet until November 1992. Accordingly, this move will enable the AFP to quickly deploy its fighter planes and frigates to any contingency in the South China Sea, in the face of China's maritime expansion in these disputed waters. Previously, the site of the U.S. Naval Air Station in Kubi Point, in Subic Bay International Airport was established, following the broader American military withdrawal from the Philippines in the 1990s. Since then, both Philippine and American military forces have been returning to the area to facilitate resupply, refuel, and repair vessels. Subic's port facilities also support the delivery of U.S. military equipment into the Philippines during bilateral exercises. Amid increased tensions with China over territorial disputes and a realization of its lackluster defense capabilities, Manila has committed to the re-establishment of military infrastructure at Subic Bay. With its strategic location adjacent to the South China Sea, particularly in Scarborough Shoal, the Philippines established the Subic Naval Operating Base in 2022. This 100-hectare section of the former Hanjin Heavy Industries and Construction Shipyard, now owned by American firm Cerberus, became the Philippine Navy's most important base. Since its founding, the base has been the only one in the Philippines that can support the services of U.S. military's largest vessels. Across the bay at Subic Bay International Airport, a similar story unfolded as the Philippines examined what facilities could be useful in their new military plans. Philippine Air Force documents on the project directly cited the proximity of the airfield to Scarborough Shoal and the South China Sea as the reason for the construction of the forward operating base. Joshua Bernard Espeña, Vice President at the Manila-based think tank International Development and Security Cooperation, told that this new base at Subic Bay is a significant leap in the Philippine military's efforts to develop joint operations. It also talks about the operationalization of the Philippines' comprehensive archipelagic defense concept, with the logic of filling the gaps of defending a vast archipelago. The facilities will be the key for a rapid and coordinated response, hence Subic being the classic location for the forward operating base. The Armed Forces of the Philippines has identified Subic Bay International Airport as a staging point for joint air-sea land operations under its strategic basing plan, which aims to identify points across the country's vast archipelago to support and project forces beyond territorial waters and into Manila's exclusive economic zone. The existing runway may be utilized by surface attack aircraft in support to both land and maritime operations, stated the Philippine Air Force bidding document on the potential of the former U.S. Naval Air Station. While bids put forth are preliminary, worth around $2.5 million and only covering housing and security upgrades, the plan's schematics outline other future ambitions at the airfield, including basing for fighter jets, missile storage, and a large hangar that can support the services on upcoming surveillance aircraft. Documents also indicate the long-term construction of a dedicated drone and maritime patrol base at Subic. with bidding documents stating that the Department of National Defense's Planning Guidance 2020 to 2025 has directed the Philippine Air Force to continue the full development of basing and hangars for these reconnaissance aircraft at Subic Bay International Airport. The Philippine government's plan to develop Subic Bay as a military facility was first announced in October 2012, 4 months after the Chinese occupation of Scarborough Shoal. When it was announced, Philippines and U.S. officials confirmed that Subic Bay, once the U.S. 7th Fleet home port and the primary staging area for all American naval activities in the Southeast Asian waters. As a Philippine military facility that will host U.S. forces on a semi-permanent rotational presence. These U.S. forces will engage with the AFP in regular joint exercises to develop the latter's doctrine and equipment in territorial defense, and enhance the two allies' interoperability. There were also plans to pre-position U.S. logistics assets in the Subic Bay, and utilize some of the port facilities to service U.S. Navy ships. On the 28th of April 2014, the Republic of the Philippines and the United States of America signed the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA. This executive agreement provides the framework by which the Philippines and the U.S. can develop their individual and collective defense capabilities. Such tasks can be accomplished through the rotational deployment of American forces in Philippine bases. EDCA allows American forces to utilize AFP-owned and controlled facilities